asked me, he emailed me and said, hey, would you come out to the luncheon and just give an update on what's going on in the base and what's going on with the company. And I got to tell you, it's very humbling to be in a room full of legacy AAers like yourselves, and to have a guy like me come up here and talk to you. It almost seems out of place. It seems like you should be talking to me. So I'll just say this as like a news headline stuff. I'll give you some information about what's going on with our base and our airport. There's some really cool things happening, and so I'll share that with you and some of our hiring information. And then if you have any questions for me, you can grab me here. I'll stick around and you can ask your questions. So Doug Packer, no, you don't have a contract yet, so don't ask me that one. So first of all, I talked to Rob Baker and Chris Torres yesterday. They're at a meeting in Miami, a board of directors meeting, so they send their warmest regards from Miami and said that they'll be with you at the next lunch. And sorry they weren't here for you. So I know it's really cool for me because I was a long-time line guy, short-time management guy, and so I have a really good relationship with our reps here in DFW, and it's a really nice thing to have. It's very respectful, it's very professional, and it makes it work for everybody in the base. So I'm very happy about that. So some numbers for you. As of March 1st, 13,867 pilots at American Airlines. I know, it's huge, right? It's a huge number. And we're planning to maintain that level of pilots through the summer. So what does that mean? So as we're retiring pilots, and we're retiring 800 a year, it's a big number, So we're maintaining that. We're hiring people off the street. We're getting great candidates. Yeah, off the street, meaning not, actually some have actually within the company. We've had a lot of people from other work groups that have gone to the Cadet Academy. We've had flight attendants, we've had maintenance people, fleet service clerks that have actually had their education and they've gone and learned to fly, and they've come on in our pilot ranks as well. So that's what we have total-wise. So in DFW, as of March 1st, 3,571 pilots. And we're going to increase that through the summer by 150. So we'll be over 3,700 pilots in DFW, which is 26% of the total workforce, pilot workforce for American Airlines. So that's big. I'm very fortunate. They call him. They used to be the managing director, like when Zane Lemon and stuff was in the office. When they realigned after the merger, and they made that a director position. But we have 5 chief pilots in the DFW office. So, and then me, so a total of 6. I do count myself as a chief pilot because I still give out EOs like Christmas candy, and wipe off missed trips and commuter misses like nothing ever happened. So it's kind of a fun thing to do. And as one of my table mates here who lives next door to my boss said, be careful what you say because I live next door to Russ. And I said, but I really enjoy wiping those things off, and Russ knows it too. So he wouldn't be surprised by that. Retirements. So this ought to be a membership drive, right, for us, right, Gray Eagles? This should be a membership drive. In the next 5 years, through December of 2026, 3,800 pilots will retire. Mandatory retirement. So we'll probably have more, but that's 65. That's mandatory out the door. In the next 10 years, so 2032, 7,600 pilots. So Beverly, where's your daughter? You talking about? So when I talk to new hires, we have new hires come to our base now, and when I talk to them, I'm like, if you're a surfer, you're paddling out, sun's coming up, water's really calm, and there's a big tsunami wave behind you, and you're going to have time to go as far as you want to go and turn around and face the shore and ride it all the way into the shore. Big opportunities for the pilot workforce at American Airlines over the next 10 years, and then continuing too. In 10 years, the retirements will taper down to the 400 range, which is where most of my career, my 32 years, was kind of like a high number. So let's see. Yeah, so halfway up the list. Hiring. So in September of last year, through the end of the year, we hired 500 pilots. So we closed, during the pandemic, we closed down our pilot recruitment center. We didn't, luckily, I don't know why, this was a really smart thing, which is why I say I don't know why. They didn't lay off all the people that were working in pilot recruitment. They reassigned them to different jobs, admin jobs. The director there, Corey Glenn, who's a 737 captain for us, they actually put him back to the line, but kept him on hold. And so they opened up the pilot recruitment office when they realized the pandemic was going to go away. And we saw what kind of pent up frustration and travel demand that was all over the world was starting to happen. We realigned our fleets. We did a lot of things within our company to help us run lean and mean. You know, we're down to 4 fleets, 4 aircraft types, and they're relatively new. You know, Beverly, you still have your 777 hanging around, but 787s, not very old. Airbus aircraft, not very old. There's a mix in there, but the majority of them are relatively new. 737 MAX, relatively new, and more coming on the way. So we're lean, and that's where all that debt came from that you hear people talk about, is from our fleet expansion and running that down. That was a big part of our debt. So what the plan is to really charge hard at a schedule and really operate those airframes and use them efficiently. Today at DFW, I was on the morning call, and we had, we're going to do right at 69,000 passengers through DFW today, and almost 30,000 of them are going to walk through our front doors from the Metroplex to get on our airplanes. That's mainline, that's not regional. That's mainline aircraft. 404 flights scheduled for today. The seat occupancy, you used to talk about load factor, and load factor was, it was a formula that some analyst or financial person came up with because it included seat miles, available seat miles. Who cares about that, right? We want to know how many butts are in how many seats, right? That's all we care about, right? So that's what we look at now. We don't look at it at that way, so we look at seat occupancy. That's the term that is used today. And so today it's 94%. All of last week. I know, right? So ID20s are the way to go. D2Rs don't work. All of last week, we did not get below a 94% seat occupancy rate. All of last week. It was crazy. I typically, if you've seen me here, you see me, I'm on my phone all the time. I hate the daggum thing. But so when I leave my office and I'm walking through the terminal, I'm reading email, I'm replying, I'm texting and stuff like that. I used to be able to do that without looking up. Well, you can't do it anymore. You just, because you're going to run into somebody. They may be this tall, they may be this tall. There's no discrimination there. That's just what happens. So it's busy, and that's what their plan is. Their plan is to run long and run hard, and to go after the customer. We actually, our completion factor is right at 98% since the first of the year. Our Christmas, we had some hiccups. I told you I was a long-time line guy, and my boss, Russ Moore, he says you can't swim in a pool of Kool-Aid without getting a little bit in your mouth. But I try to spit it out as fast as it gets there. But we had some challenges. This IROPS, irregular operations that we had in February, we had 2 of them, not 1, but 2. And they were a real pain in the tuchus. And I said, it started out that COVID was my most hated word when I came back to the office. And then it was IROPS, irregular operations. And now my new most hated word is meteorologist. The only person that can be wrong 100% of the time and get promoted. Well, actually, we've had some of those around here too, but that's neither here nor there. But Yeah, the weather, we plan on the weather, and when we're running at 94% seat occupancy, it's not like we can do a cancellation package of 25%. Because that would take a whole week to reaccommodate all those passengers. So we have to run as much as we can, as much as we think we can. So we look at our crews, and we look at how many airplanes we can run through a de-icing line. And at DFW, we have 22 lines operating. So that's for a narrow body. So for every narrow body line, when we put a wide body on it, it takes up 2. So, but of the flagship of the wide body flights out of the airport today, I think there's 22 wide body flights that we were operating. The rest of it was narrow body. 54%